Hey y'all, it's Driver. So we're back in ATS here again, and we got us a load of nuts from Walmart. Coming out of the same Walmart plant we actually went to with the industrial pallets, which is still confusing. Going out to Kennewick, Washington, which is fine, except for we're going to BNSF. So I don't know if they're just being nutty or I don't know. Anyhow, guys, I was trying to make a funny beginning there, but it didn't work. So, and today's topic is also from AK, and we'll be talking about places I've been and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll get this thing fired back up. Get some mirrors and some GPS here. This is a 333-mile trip. Probably be a little longer than the 30 minutes I tried to do, but it was about the best option we had. Actually, it was the shortest option we had. So, so yeah, let's go ahead and get rolling. Get up here on the highway somehow, some way. Traffic's probably gonna be a pain. And what are you doing? I probably should have went because I don't want to be stuck behind that kind of crap. Telling you people, I don't know. Keep going. All right. So yeah. So anyhow, on our subject here, AK was interested in what I've done as far as states. He was also asking about cities. Unfortunately, I can't remember every city I've been to. I've been to a lot of cities. So I can't really remember every city I've driven to or driven through. Um, but I will try to talk about the ones that I remember the most, more or less. As far as states here in the United States, I have driven to all 48 states. I have not been to Alaska, and there's not a bridge that goes to Hawaii yet. So that's as far as I've been. And I have not been to Canada. I've been very close to the Canadian border multiple times. And I've never been to Mexico, even though I've been along the Mexican border several times as well. That's a little stupid. Let's get going. So the 48 states, I have pretty much been through all the big cities. Um, so I've been to Seattle, Oregon multiple times. Portland was the main one. Oh Lord, I've been to all kinds of cities. I've been to San Francisco, been to Los Angeles, a couple other towns. I think I've been to Bakersfield, California. I've been to all those. You know, I've I've been to so many cities I can't really remember them all. It's just one of those things. I've driven through and delivered in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been to Louisville, Kentucky. I've been to Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh my God, the list would just go on and on. If you ever listen to country music, there's a country song that's titled "I've Been Everywhere." Yeah, I can pretty much relate to that song. I've pretty much been all over. Um, a lot of on my West Coast stuff, though, I didn't do as much traveling out there until later years. So I have a lot more travel time on the east side of the Mississippi than I do the west side of it. And what are you doing, Dupas? And something that kind of goes along with AK's first question, and um, will be the next one. And I'm just going down the list right now, basically. He was asking my question of the best and worst infrastructure by state. Now that one's going to be a hard one to gauge. I mean, I'm from Florida. I think we have some of the better roads in the nation, but we also have some roads that are pretty gnarly. Um, I'm not a fan of highways that are made of concrete. Um, if you Most semi trucks are on an air ride suspension system and ride pretty nice. But there's a lot of trailers that's on the spring ride systems. And you get on a road that's bouncy, especially a concrete road or like a bridge, that trailer gets to bouncing and it bucks the truck. And oh my God, does your back hurt at the end of the day? Um, so if you've ever driven down a concrete road or a bridge, and the whole time you're cruising for what feels like 2 hours, and all you hear under your tires is the thunk, the thunk, the thunk, the thunk. Um, those kind of roads typically bounce the crap out of a spring ride system. So it hurts and it gets old. So I'm not a fan of it. I'll be 100% honest with you. Um, I think some of the worst roads is going to be pretty much anything in a snow belt. Um, and it's not that they don't try to take care of the roads. Some of them don't. I will admit to that. But it's not that. You just stand there. I guess I'm going. Let's get moving here. But it's just the weather system. I watched an interesting video years and years ago, way before I think I actually got into trucking. And in that video, they talked about how potholes are made. So most people think that potholes are because of us semi trucks, because of how heavy we are, and we just tear up the road, and that we should pay our equal share. Well, I can promise you, we pay our equal share. We tend to pay more than what most people will ever pay for road repair and stuff. Ooh, let's go on the road. But what actually creates potholes is a air pocket under the ground, and it's more common up north. And what happens is the ground freezes under the road, and it creates a air bubble as it thaws out. As water freezes, it gets air inside the crystals, and then when it thaws out, it leaves the air behind. Um, and basically, over time, over several years, it creates more or less not quite a sinkhole, but a hole under that pavement. And then as vehicles drive over the deteriorated ground under that pavement, it pushes the asphalt down and creates the pothole. Um, Also, potholes are notorious to be found where the asphalt is literally peeling apart. A lot of that is because of either age or poor paving operations. So most pavement has 2 to 3 layers of asphalt that they put down, and each layer is 2 to 4 inches thick, and it's usually two. And what holds the two together is the tar. Well, tar, think of it like glue. It don't hold forever, folks. And as it becomes weak, um, it starts to break up and move around. So, and a lot of what you see that does that is on the shoulders of the road, where it separates there, and then from people pulling over or actually getting on the shoulder like my butt does on here all the time, and it just tears the road up. So, um, do semi trucks contribute to the road wear? A little. A lot of it would be the grooves, but also depends upon the nature of the asphalt, where it came from, and the area it's in. Um, States that are real hot all the time, like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, places like that, um, and the asphalt gets really hot out there. I mean, when you got temperatures that get above 100 degrees and asphalt can be 50 degrees more, um, it's just hot. And when asphalt gets hot, it gets soft. So think of like a stick of butter, for example. A stick of butter is usually fairly firm, but if you melt it, it becomes soft, and then over time, nothing. But we don't get to temperatures where it just disintegrates, at least for asphalt. Butter is different. And I prefer as much butter as I can get on my popcorn. But anyhow, so as far as the worst states, oh my God, there's a list. Um, I hate the roads in Illinois. Um, Around like the Chicago area is concrete. It beats the tar out of you. It's not smooth. It's very uneven, and it's not maintained enough, in my opinion. You know, a lot of places that put down concrete think that it's good for life, and it just doesn't last for life. I mean, it lasts a long time, at least a lot longer than asphalt. But at the same time, it seems to do a whole lot better, especially up north in the harsh winters. Excuse me. So Illinois would be one state that I would say that has some pretty bad roads. Um, Indiana, oh my God. Not only is their concrete horrible, their asphalt's horrible. Um, Within states like Missouri, tend to seem to tend to have smoother roads. Oklahoma, Texas, it kind of depends upon what part of Texas you're in, but it's got its days. So it's just it really varies at times, but there's a lot of good and bad roads out there. What do we got going on up here? So yeah, for me, I've always hated driving through Illinois and Indiana. Those two just always beat the tar out of my trucks. Um, Let me on, big truck, sir. And my driving is all over the place. That's where I drove better with controller. I mean, with the keyboard. As far as in the western states, I don't have a whole lot of bad to say about them, mostly just because I haven't been out there in so long. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much our roads. I mean it's just it's really it's hit and miss. A lot of states with a lot of bad roads. A lot of states are actually finally doing something about their bad roads. Um, a lot of states that's always had good roads are starting to turn into states with bad roads. It's and then you got states where their roads are great in places and horrible in others. Kentucky is one of them I could think of. From Elizabethtown, Kentucky, going north up to Louisville is mostly concrete, but it's not real horrible going north. But when you're going south, it'll beat the living tar out of you. So it's just, I don't know, it's one of those things. Do I need to be in the right lane? So let's get over. On controller. I don't think I was driving this bad with the other controller. Glad everybody stopped. All the way right. There we go. I'm speeding big time, aren't I? What lane do I need to be in? Their GPS leaves a lot to be desired for at times. You waits till you get right up to the split, and then it shows it finally. Yeah, I need to be over lane. Oh, I could go that way if I wanted to. Really need to get my wheel and pedals up for this game. Bad. Sorry for the silence, guys. I was just trying to pay attention to where we're going here. It's on a good road again. Okay. That's a little better. Okay, so I took a quick glance at my notes here, and I know I'm spending a lot of time doing that. Um, so Aiden, also known as AK, was also wanting to know what states are the friendliest and the unfriendliest for truckers, and the same thing with the law enforcement side too. I think really the worst states for truckers in general is Connecticut would be one. I know how harsh they can be over there. New York, at times they seem to be pretty bad. Same with New Jersey. Um, Texas is hit and miss. I don't mean to knock Texas. I've dealt with some very awesome DOT officers in Texas, but I dealt with some pretty bad ones too. Some of the better ones, in my opinion. I've never really had much problem in Kentucky and Alabama, Florida. Florida's one of my favorites. I've heard of people having bad problems in Georgia, but I never have. I'm just trying to think about all the states. I mean, New Mexico's never really gave me much problems. Arizona was just that one time with that registration thing. After that, they've always been really cool. Idaho's a little bitty state, in my opinion. I've driven a fair amount of Idaho, but never had much problem with them. I mean, a lot of them are pretty decent, um, but some are pretty harsh on truck drivers. And it's really about the same with law enforcement in general, too. I think the law enforcement in Florida is a lot friendlier than law enforcement in the Northeast in general. And I think a lot of it is, what are you? Jesus Christ. Oh, I hate the AI in here sometimes. I think a lot of it with me in the Northeast is the a lot of the law enforcement in the Northeast, to me, when they talk, they seem like they have an attitude, like they're already pissed off when they came to work. And I'm sorry for the language on that, but that's just about the best way I can put it. Um, I've had them be seriously rude with me. Um, and then I've had a few that were really nice. So I don't know. I mean, I've hung around in New York City and New Jersey a fair amount when I first got into trucking, and the just the way people act in those areas, they seem like they're just mad at the world, but that's how they talk, if that makes any sense at all. Um, or just their expression of how they say certain things. This guy's got triples. We can go ahead and bump this up a little. Why he got in the hammer lane, I have no clue. So yeah, that's just my opinion on that. Um, he also had another question about way station procedures and stuff. That's going to be another video. Um, that's probably also going to be a non-driving video. I don't know if I will include it with the rules or if I'll separate that out. I'm not sure on that one yet. I want to get in front of you, dude. Okay. Another one that AK was also wondering about was unwritten rules that truck drivers use that most people wouldn't know anything about. Um, let's see. A lot of well, okay. When I first started driving truck, um, when truck drivers would pass each other, like I'm fixing to pass this tanker here, we would look at each other and we'd wave at each other of some sort. Nowadays, you're lucky if they even acknowledge you're beside them. And it's kind of became a problem over the years because if that driver had something wrong with his truck or his trailer, say he had a flat tire, and you pull up beside him and you're trying to get his attention, they're not even paying attention to you. It's almost like they don't even know anybody's beside them. And that's scary. Um, when we're taught how to drive a truck, one of the things that we're taught is to be constantly monitoring our mirrors. And something you don't see here that I'm doing while I'm driving, it's just habit now, is I'm constantly looking at those two mirrors. That's why that mirror on the right is there, because that's what, oh crap, this is my exit. Can I get over, please? Thank you. Very dangerous, I know. I would have never done that in real life. But yeah, I'm always constantly looking at my mirrors because I want to know what's around me at all times. And there's a couple reasons why you want to do that. And I really think they should teach us in cars too. Because in the event that something in front of you is happening, like I just rounded this curve, and say the road was stopped up here, nobody was going nowhere. I need to know where I can go. And not knowing what's to your left or to your right kind of screws up that ability to know where to go. Um, I think that's the reason why there are so many sideswipe crashes on the roads these days. Because people don't pay attention. You know, they see something, they just do this. They don't look in a mirror. They don't know anything's there. They just swerve over, and then wham, they hit a car or the vehicle of any kind. And this is not a safe practice. And I honestly don't agree with it. I think we're exiting up here. Yeah, I'll stay behind this guy. So yeah, it's just one of those things that you need to know everything that's going on around you. Um, but yeah, drivers used to wave at each other. They used to be respectful to each other. Now they, if they do look at you, they flip you off. You know, you've done something very bad in their opinion. Um, one thing that drivers used to do years ago, some still do it. I do, is they would flash their headlights off and on, or on then back off, depending upon daytime or whatever, to let you know that you've cleared them when you've passed them on the freeway. Also to, let you know you can pull out, like say we're at this red light here, it turns green, and I want to go ahead and let a truck on the side road go ahead and turn, I'd flash my lights at him. Drivers don't do that anymore. Um, the other thing we used to do, and I still do, is blink our taillights off and on, saying thank you for letting us over. A lot of drivers don't do that. And it doesn't even have to be the blink off and on the taillights. It can be just flashed in your four ways, which is your flashers like this. Flashed them a few times. You know, I used to do this. I got tired of doing it, but I've seen a lot of people do this where they go like that. In all honesty, that probably just wears out the turn signal. Looks cool though. I'll be honest, it does look cool. Um, you know, and then the other thing was we just had respect for each other in general. We gave each other space. Um, drivers used to help each other out all the time. Nowadays, they don't. I mean, it's just kind of how it was. Sadly, that trend and that era is pretty well vanishing. It's going away. So, yeah, that's about all I can think of at the moment. I'm pretty sure I'll think of something after I end the video. It's kind of how it's gone here lately. There's been a few things I've thought about later on that I could have added that wasn't real important, but it was just stuff that I could have added into the list. Turn here. Looks like where we're going is up on the right. We're pretty close. This trip's about a wrap. And because I didn't miss no turns, it looks like this video is going to be a lot closer to the 30-minute mark than usual. Kind of rare, isn't it? All right, BNSF, we brought your nuts. That sounded so bad on so many levels, and I apologize if you took it the wrong way. But we do have a load of nuts. Actually, this is the same place we delivered last time we were in this town. It's kind of wild. So, but I don't know. Maybe they're going to ship these. How about that? We'll go with that. So, where do you want that? Nah, it's blindside parking. I don't want that. So let's go park. Be up against that. So let's do this. Swing out nice and wide. All right, here we are. Let's see how we did. All right, $17,770 is what we made for a 335-mile drive. So that's pretty decent, I think. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for this video here. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me and cruising along. And I'll be trying to get up some more videos here soon. There's probably going to be some videos coming up here soon that is not going to be me driving, but still explaining a little bit more in trucking. There might still be some gameplay with it, but I'll probably pre-record the gameplay and then voice over a lot of that stuff that I want to talk about, just so you got something in the background to look at and listen to me, and I can throw footnotes and things like that up. But I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do that, so no promises on exactly how I'm doing that, if at all. So we'll just kind of see. Um, but anyhow, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Y'all have a great one, and I'll see you next time.